General Hospital spoilers tease that in a recent episode of the State of Mind podcast, a major revelation took place when Cameron Mathison, who plays Drew Kane on General Hospital, shared a shocking secret with fans. This revelation stunned not only Maurice Benard but also deeply moved listeners. Maurice, as the host, created a safe and open space where guests could share deep, previously untold parts of their lives. For Cameron, this conversation was more than just a chance to talk about his role as Drew. It became a moment of vulnerability where he opened up about personal challenges he has faced. Previously known for portraying Drew Kane, a strong, emotional character unafraid of hardship, fans came to realize through this podcast that behind the scenes, Cameron has also fought personal battles. He revealed that throughout his career, he has faced major challenges, from health struggles to family and personal life issues that he had never publicly disclosed. These stories not only surprised fans but also deepened their empathy and understanding of who Cameron truly is. One of the most striking aspects of Cameron's story was the immense pressure he felt trying to balance his career as an actor with his personal life. As a public figure, Cameron had to worry not only about his image but also wrestled with deeper issues, feelings of insecurity and emotional exhaustion that he kept hidden. This revelation shocked fans and completely changed the way they perceive the artists they admire. Cameron was no longer just a character on screen but a real man with pain, struggles, and inner conflicts few could have imagined. Maurice, in his role as host, was visibly moved by Cameron's openness. He admitted that Cameron's stories made him cry during the podcast's editing process, and he couldn't help but feel proud of his friend. Cameron's sincerity and willingness to open up brought a wave of emotion not just to Maurice but to all the fans. For them, this wasn't just a simple conversation, it was a deep dive into the life of someone they had only seen through their performances. The teaser for this State of Mind episode promises to be unmissable for fans. Maurice smiled and said, "This is State of Mind, this is Cameron Mathison. Wait until you see what he's done. It's like watching a great movie. It's fun and deep." The preview sparked anticipation not only because of the story to be told but because of the way Maurice created a space where such stories could be told in an accessible and inspiring way. Although the podcast primarily focuses on mental health, a topic not always easy to discuss, Maurice makes it approachable, relatable, even entertaining and profound. Listeners are drawn in, feeling a connection to these tough topics through the shared stories. While Maurice's podcasts usually center around mental health and the personal lives of his guests, this episode stood out. It went beyond psychological issues to touch on struggles, courage, and the challenges celebrities face in real life. It was a powerful eye-opener for fans, reminding them that their favorite artists aren't just characters on a screen, they are real people with complex lives, challenges, and emotions. Cameron, once known solely as the strong Drew Kane, now emerges as a symbol of authenticity and bravery for having the courage to face his darkest moments and share them with the world. His revelations offered a new perspective not just on himself but on how fans understand and connect with their favorite artists. These behind-the-scenes stories are no longer just secrets but essential parts of every person's journey, and they deserve to be recognized and shared. This is one of the many reasons why Maurice Benard's State of Mind podcast is so beloved. It's not just entertainment. It's a safe space for artists to tell their stories and for listeners to feel less alone in their own lives. Cameron revealed that what he shared in the podcast wasn't just about his past, it was part of a healing process, helping him find peace within. This made a powerful impact on those who follow him, reminding them that every artist, no matter how famous, has hidden stories we've never known. Meanwhile, on General Hospital, the storyline is entering an incredibly intense and volatile phase as an unexpected and shocking conflict between Drew and Sonny escalates. Their relationship, already marked by ups and downs, now faces a major showdown, with developments growing increasingly serious. This sudden shift has shocked fans and opened the door to a bloody outcome, one where Drew might end up killing Sonny. Such a twist could completely alter the trajectory of the show. Drew, known for his painful past and steadfast loyalty, has faced many challenges. However, His current path is leading him into dangerous territory. Despite his efforts to uphold family values and stay true to his loyalty, he now faces a decision with potentially devastating consequences. Confronting Sonny, a man he once had a close bond with, is no longer just a power struggle. It could become the climax of a fiery conflict. If Drew does kill Sonny, it would not only be an act of murder but the end of their brother-like relationship and a pivotal, irreversible turning point in Drew's life. If this happens, the consequences will be severe, not just for the central characters but for the entire Corinthos family. Sonny, the mafia boss of Port Charles, has many enemies. But he has always fiercely protected his family. His death, especially at Drew's hands, would tear his family apart and spark a vicious power struggle among the families of General Hospital. Jason, who has always stood by Sonny, will certainly not forgive Drew. This would trigger a fierce confrontation between former friends and deeply shock their relationship. With Sonny's departure, a wave of revenge and new schemes would unfold. Carly, Sonny's wife, will not accept this loss quietly and will undoubtedly seek vengeance. Michael, Sonny's son, also won't let anyone get away with hurting his father. This would become a war among families, where each character must choose between loyalty and the values they've upheld for years. These decisions won't just impact them personally, they'll bring unpredictable consequences to all of Port Charles. The catastrophe would deepen as secrets surrounding Sonny's death come to light. Was Drew really the one who killed him, or is there a bigger conspiracy at play? Each character will face threats not only from outsiders but also from those closest to them. Betrayals, sacrifices, and power plays will become the heart of the story, with every decision capable of reshaping the future of General Hospital. If Drew truly kills Sonny, it won't just be a shock to the characters, it will devastate fans as well. Drew, once beloved for his strength and painful past, may become a traitor and an enemy in the eyes of those who once viewed him as a brother. This isn't just a showdown between two characters, it's a clash of ideals, family, and power. The story won't end with Sonny's death, it will spark new conflicts, bloody revenge, and dangerous decisions as characters are forced to confront their destinies. This event won't just shake up the characters, it will deeply restructure the narrative, pushing everyone to their limits. Will they withstand the storm or be consumed by the spiral of power and endless revenge? The Drew and Sonny story arc won't just change their lives, it could redefine the entire landscape of Port Charles, where every decision leads to unforeseen consequences. Port Charles is currently facing a time of great upheaval, as everything seems to be on the brink of a major turning point, with the city in need of a new leader to guide it forward. The story is no longer just about a shift in power, it reflects a revolution in mindset and strategy among the key players in General Hospital. New dynamics begin to unfold as Michael returns, bringing with him not only a powerful shift in influence but also a strategic overhaul of how things are run in the lives of the characters. Michael's return is not a simple event, it's a major shock to both his family and the power players in Port Charles, as he arrives determined to make bold changes in how everything is managed. Meanwhile, Jason, who has always stood behind Sonny and protected the family's legacy, must now come to terms with the huge shift brought on by Michael's reappearance and his determination to rebuild what has been disrupted. Michael is not just Sonny's son, he's also a promising heir, with a broad vision for the future. Though he's been absent for some time, his return brings a new strength as he starts making critical decisions for the future of Port Charles. His power lies not only in his control over the city's factions but also in his willingness to make bold and decisive moves in a world where change is constant and unpredictable. However, as Michael steps forward to take control, Drew, who was once considered an integral part of the Corinthos family, finds himself facing a major failure in his plans. All of Drew's calculations and intentions to maintain power in the criminal underworld are beginning to fall apart. Known for his loyalty and strength, Drew is now forced to face the reality that his actions are no longer enough to keep the family and its relationship stable. With Michael's return, everything Drew has done in the past seems irrelevant, and he's left confronting an uncertain future. This narrative shift is not merely a power struggle, it also reflects a deeper battle between loyalty, betrayal, and the tough decisions each character must face. Drew, once a trusted ally and key part of Sonny's plans, now feels left behind, no longer in sync with the new direction things are heading. Drew's troubles are not just about power, they also center on questions of loyalty and family bonds. He must now face not only the collapse of his strategies but also the betrayal he may have inflicted on those closest to him. Sonny's death, if it truly occurs, would open the door to a new war, one not just for control, but for honor and family protection. With Michael back, he's not only poised to take command of the situation, but he also faces tremendous challenges in dealing with former allies like Jason and Drew, who once stood beside Sonny and now find themselves in opposing roles. Michael will be forced to make incredibly difficult choices on how to lead the family and protect its values in a volatile and unstable world. Every decision Michael makes now will impact not only himself but everyone around him, especially in managing the criminal forces long tied to the family. Although Michael is loved and seen as Sonny's talented successor, his return brings not just hope but also sparks a new conflict, where enemies of the Corinthos family will rise to resist. If Sonny's death becomes reality, it will mark the beginning of an inevitable clash among the city's powerful families, and Michael will be at the center of every crucial decision. With Drew's failure and Michael's powerful return, General Hospital is entering a new era, one where nothing is simple anymore. Families will be forced to confront unavoidable shifts in power, as those who once held authority must now share it, fight for it, or risk losing everything. The battle is no longer just about who runs Port Charles, it's about how each character confronts their past, navigates their present, and prepares for an uncertain future. This story will continue to evolve with complex, intense situations and constant change in the lives of everyone involved. The General Hospital storyline is undergoing a major and unexpected turning point, as Sonny's retirement and confirmed death shake up the entire narrative. This event is not only shocking but also sets off a series of significant changes in the show's plot, forcing fans to confront a brand new world where relationships and character dynamics will be tested and drastically transformed. Sonny's death doesn't just mark the end of one of General Hospital's most iconic characters, it signifies the end of an era and a major shift in the balance of power within the story. As Sonny's arc nears its end, another critical development is unfolding, the exposure of Drew's crimes. Once beloved and respected, Drew is now facing betrayal and consequences that could cost him everything. Known for his loyalty and commitment to family and friends, Drew is now at the center of scandal as his involvement in Sonny's death begins to surface. This revelation not only brands Drew a traitor but also shatters the relationships around him. Those who once saw him as a friend and family member now have to confront the painful truth about his actions. Sonny's death is a profound shock, not only for the characters within the show but for the fans as well. A figure as powerful and deeply rooted in the series as Sonny facing death forces viewers to reflect on the fragility of life and power. Once seen as untouchable, Sonny has now fallen victim to the very conspiracies he helped create. This raises important questions about the permanence of power and who will rise to take control of Port Charles in his absence. Amidst this chaos, Drew emerges as the central figure in a new conflict. His crimes, whether intentional or not, can no longer be hidden. He must face unavoidable consequences. And Sonny's death is only the beginning of the shocks to come. Drew now risks losing everything he's built, and he must prepare for retaliation from former friends and Sonny's family, who won't easily forgive his betrayal. This shift doesn't just alter personal relationships, it ignites new conflicts and rivalries. This is no longer just a battle over power or control, it's about betrayal, resistance, and the personal confrontations each character must face. Drew, once a beloved brotherly figure, is now seen as the enemy by those who once considered him family. With Sonny's death and the changing dynamics among the characters, General Hospital is entering a tense and complex new phase. Power struggles, family feuds, and criminal conspiracies are escalating. Every decision, every move now has the potential to reshape the entire storyline. In this context, Sonny's death is only the beginning of a series of events that will shake the foundations of the world these characters live in. General Hospital is no longer just about power plays, it's about loss, betrayal, and inevitable transformation. Drew now faces an uncertain future. His actions will have long-lasting consequences not just for himself but for everyone around him. While Sonny's end marks one of the most significant events in the show, it also opens a new chapter filled with conflict, schemes, and a world where everything can change in an instant. The final question is, can Drew find a path to redemption, or will he be swept into an inescapable spiral? The answer will determine not just Drew's fate, but the fate of everyone in this evolving drama. Drew is quickly becoming the central figure in an increasingly chaotic and complex General Hospital storyline. Recent developments have pulled him into a tense situation that's not only changing his life but deeply affecting all of Port Charles. One of the key storylines now centers around the unraveling of Sonny's legacy, and Drew is no longer an outsider. He's actively involved, escalating the situation to new extremes. The struggle over Sonny's legacy, from mafia kingpin to a man who could be brought down, is fueling intense power battles, and Drew is now a major player in this madness. This battle isn't just about who controls power, it's about relationships, loyalty, and betrayal. As Sonny's closest allies, from family to longtime associates, begin to fight over what remains after his death, everything descends into chaos. Once Sonny's trusted friend, Drew now finds himself entangled in these power struggles. And his increasing involvement is pushing the story to wild new heights. Facing ever-mounting challenges, Drew is forced to choose between protecting Sonny's legacy or pursuing his own goals. His decisions will deeply impact the future of Port Charles. One of the wildest new developments is Drew finally confronting the consequences of his past actions. He now finds himself not only at the center of a power war between families but also under attack from new enemies. The conspiracies he once overlooked are now coming into clear focus. And Drew realizes he's surrounded by foes both old and new. What he once thought he could control is now spiraling out of reach, forcing him to face dark forces he inadvertently helped unleash. A major turning point comes when Drew starts taking increasingly aggressive steps to protect Sonny's legacy. No longer playing a neutral role, Drew begins moving into offensive territory, making choices that could ignite full-scale conflict, not just between families, but within his old circle of friends. Once seen as a rookie in the criminal world, Drew must now face the consequences of being involved with dangerous forces he can no longer keep in check. Everything begins to explode as Drew realizes he's the one who must carry and defend Sonny's legacy. This plotline expands as Drew becomes more assertive in this fight, not just over power, but over honor and loyalty. Attacks from enemies are pushing the situation beyond control, and whether he likes it or not, Drew is being drawn into a life-or-death battle to protect what remains of Sonny's influence. Every decision Drew makes now carries weight far beyond his personal story. His actions could affect all of Port Charles. From guarding Sonny's legacy to facing criminal underworld threats, Drew's every move is triggering unpredictable consequences. This isn't just a power struggle anymore, it's a clash of values, principles, and loyalty. Drew must now confront the question of what to do with the power he's taken on, and whether he can survive the battle without losing himself. This story arc is expanding rapidly. And with each move Drew makes, fans are witnessing increasingly wild twists and the intense challenges he must face. Can he remain loyal and protect Sonny's legacy without falling into a spiral of guilt and betrayal? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. This storyline will continue delivering shocking surprises, pushing General Hospital into a new era of turmoil and irreversible decisions.